Welcome to Tai Chi. Everybody ready? Let's warm up. Hands at your waist, turn your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stretch your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Expand your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to be strict with this one. Keep your hands close to your ears. Keep them there. Turn at your hips and waist. Do not use the leverage of your arms. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Airplane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Touch toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Be careful. Shift your weight. Kick your foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kick your butt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Heisman, opening up your span, parallel feet. Choose one side, sit on that side. Good Tai Chi posture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shift weight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Short one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good golden cockerel. Good Tai Chi posture. Grow a little more through your spine. Opening up your span. Shift weight, center, counterbalance, up and down. Last set. Make sure that front hand is not crunched up now. Relax it and bring it up rather than pulling it back. Kicking out, shift weight, right hand, right foot, coming up and out. Follow it with your eyes, follow it with your hands. Back hand a little higher if you can. Last one. Holding our ball, root down, show me that you have energy. Out and to the side, part the wild horse's mane. Get a good stretch. Sit back lower. Root down. L. Bow stance. Make this routine a little bit better. Make sure the hands are going for the ride. Make sure you're expanding using your core to help you stabilize. Make it smooth. Do not use your hands. Use your energy that you stored. Use your hips and waist to give it a parting of the wild horse's mane. Don't forget to lower a little bit more. We can all stand to gain by lowering right now. Parallel higher. Hands go for the ride, are they? Turn the hips and waist, move your hands to brush your knee. Make sure you understand that. Make sure you implement that. Parallel higher on a T. Leave your hands there. Turn the hips and waist. What does it do to your hands? Holding your ball, we're going to ward off. Turn hips and waist. Hands go for the ride. As you reposition, sit down. Contact, turn, push. How do you get your hands to your hips? You lower yourself. Power up and forward. How do you lower yourself? How do you close correctly? Meet and turn both palms up already, then come up. Push it in, push it out. Separate and drop your shoulders, hands go for the ride. As you now close your form. Okay, so hopefully that's a good way of reviewing, good way of recalling what we should do and what Tai Chi is all about. Today I wanted to dig down deeper in Yang 16, especially from the first single whip, half step forward, rock your front foot, play your lute, and all the way through. Okay, so right now the 16 form cannot match up really exactly with the 24. So I want to finish up some of the 16 places. Okay, so let's do it in its entirety first. Okay, Yang 16, grow through your spine, remembering all the good stuff that we learned in previous lessons. Commencing form, shift weight, open, rotate, deep breath, reverse, make sure your hands go for the ride. Holding your ball, hands go for the ride on an L, lunge forward, part the wild horse's mane, get a good stretch. Sit back, lower, everybody can lower better. Out, ball for better balance, L, move the ball, second parting of the wild horse's mane, get a good stretch. Half step forward, hold your ball. Spin the ball as if you're brushing the left hand, coming up with the left with the foot, set it on its toes, set. Make sure that the baby finger is crossing through your edge of your shoulder of the right. Drop your front foot, bisect. Swirl back, look at your left, head's higher, lift up the front foot, set it on its heel. Turn your hips and waist as you brush your knee so your hands go for the ride. Sit back, lower. Pivot out, parallel higher. Look at the backhand, lift up the front foot, set it on its heel. Turn the hips and waist as you brush your knee. Checking on this one, sit back, lower. Pivot, fist, down with the left, up with the fisted hand. Heel out, swerve as you parry. Oh, deflect, sorry. Bring that shoulder of the left in as you parry, then punch. Come to the elbow. Touch, open the fingers, roll back, shoulder width away, sit down to get to your hips, then power up, power forward. Pivot on the back, pivot on the front. T-step hook, across the face L, push out, single whip. Half step, swirl the backhand, rock the front foot, set it on its heel. Center the front hand, look at the back hand that's higher. Glance, lift, up, ear, toe, heel. Pivot on the ball of your foot as you meet in the center, repulse of the monkey. Center, glance higher, lift up, ear, toe, heel, repulse of the monkey. 2, pivot front, pirouette back as your hands now are not holding a ball because the right hand is holding the bottom of the ball. Kick out with your heel as you reposition your hand as you hold your ball correctly. Out with your heel, left hand above your head, then turn your hips and waist to shuttle on the left. Sit back, lower, pivot in, hold your ball. Out with your heel, right hand above the waist, above your head, turn out, made it on her right. Half step to the back, cross your hips and waist, toe down, extend the knee, down to the bottom of the sea. One hand, two hands, and your foot touch, start in the middle, forward and back. Sit back, lower, pivot, cup, hips and waist, 9 o'clock. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, close. Stem cup, 9 o'clock, open flip. Stem cup. 3 o'clock, reposition feet and hands. out on an L. Use your energy, do not use your hands. Turn your hips and waist helps you to grasp the bird's tail. Sit down, look back, contact, turn at your waist, push out. Sit down, unleash, rise up. Sit down, sit back, twist, ball, out, push. Turn hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail, look back, contact, push in the middle, lunge forward and separate and sit down. Undo that and out. Sit down, pivot, open, in, twist, meet, but the palms are facing. Chest level in, push out, palms down, shoulder width. How do the hands go for the ride? Show me, show me. Okay? So even if it's one portion of a movement of the 16, the 10, the 24 that you know and feel that very clearly about hands go for the ride, can you make sure that all other movements have the hands go for the ride? Do not make your hands lead your motion. Okay, try to get away from that. Something that occurred to me for my level 1 lesson that I want to share with you. On a brush knee, we always talked about it as a multitask, which it definitely is. We also said one hand comes here, one hand comes down, and one heel comes down. But we need to take a different look at it. We can say that if our hands are set up correctly, we can move through our stored energy to make our brush knee happen. Watch again, sit down. I'm storing my energy, transferring it, coming up on a spiral, moving my energy. Watch again. If I didn't understand that, we would be doing this. Very different from the 2 other brush knees. So what is so different about it is that why are we storing this energy if we're not dispensing it and helping our movements happen? Why are we storing it if all we can do is make it happen with our hands? It's not logical. So what we need to remember and always remind ourselves about is that as long as we're set up, we have that energy to help us to move and empower our motion. So this is very different. It's not just slower, but it is better Tai Chi. Can we try that? And then at a certain point, I'm going to turn around and kind of see how much you've gained. All right, going this way on a 10 form, okay? Parallel higher, brush knee. Here we go. I'm not going to say it. You figure it out, and you kind of remember what I said. Okay, do several sets so I can watch. Last set. and withhold your ball. Okay, all right, good. So you really got into it. I can see the difference. I not only see you going slowly, more deliberate, but you're trying to process what you heard me say or what you saw me do, which is very, very good. So that's what Tai Chi is. So how is it so different? We don't have to know where it's going to end up. We sort of do, but everything is dependent on how we move our body and think through our motion. So in commencing form with the 10 form, we're here, It makes our movements a little bit difficult because we're stationary. But here we go. So you need to come across this way, turn the hips and waist, brush knee. This is my Pong energy. I'm fully extended. I'm stretched. Therefore, I can get this left hand to hold to the side of my body. I'm coming up this way. I'm glancing. I'm taking my L. Turn my hips and waist. I'm fully extended. It's almost as if this is the most natural way to move. So that's where I want you to try to, you do so much Tai Chi. I give you folks a lot of credit. And what a better time to practice and use what you learn when you do have your practices, okay? So not only for brush knee, but for everything. All your movements, ask yourself, how is my hand? Is my hand leading my movement, or am I really using the power of my energy to make the movements happen? All right, we said that we will look at 16 and a certain portion of 16. So, let's look at deflect, okay, because that seems like an area, and then it'll get us to do our brush knee 2 times, and then we can deflect, okay? So, as if you're brushing the left hand, left foot comes up, point it down, white crane. Drop the front foot, bisect, swirl back, look back, lift up the front, set it on its heel. How do your hands go for the right to brush your knee? Sit back, lower, pivot out, parallel higher. Ear, heel, turn hips and waist. Get that good stretch. Here we go. Sit back, lower, pivot out, fist right hand, left hand up, then down, heel out, deflect to the right, swing that shoulder in as you then parry, and then punch. Touch, open, roll back, sit down. Undo that sit down, lift up, and out. Pivot the back, pivot the front, hook the back, T, across the face, L, push out, single whip. Half step forward, swirl the back hand, spiral the left hand on your toe, set it on its heel. So that's what we want to look at right now, okay? Sit back, this one now, okay, watch. Out, fist, left hand goes down, right hand comes up, deflect, parry, punch, touch. Okay, one more time, so I didn't do it right. Out, fist, palm goes down, this comes up, stabilizes me, out, in comes my shoulder to parry, then punch. Sorry, out on an L, brush your knee. Got it? Sit back, lower, pivot out, Fist the right hand, palm goes down, heel comes out as you deflect, swing in that shoulder, then parry, then punch. Move on, we'll repeat, touch, roll back, sit down, power up, then forward. Pivot the back, get the hook hand ready, pivot the front, shift your weight to the back, out and to the side, out, single whip. Okay, let's turn single whip here now. Okay, forward, come forward. Half step forward, swirl the back hand, rock the front foot, play your lute. So this is what I did. I have my single whip, half step forward, spiral, here. One more time. If you can watch this last time, and then if we can work it through with me doing it the opposite of you, we'll do it right now, okay? So there's something that goes on with this hand. It comes in this way, and then it plays your lute.
The person's wrist or forearm grab the opposite, and meanwhile this is coming back. See, coming back, maybe to block, or maybe just coming back to get ready to swirl over to catch this portion. The other hand is grabbing here, and the other hand is swirling to come and hit here. So it's grab, turn. Think about what the intention is on. You've done your single whip, half step. This hand is coming this way to grasp the opposite, the left hand. From the right, grasp the wrist, the lower portion of the hand. Just as this is coming backwards, so this is here, pull back, forward, okay? And in this case, you will have this hand here to the other person, and the upper hand has swooped around and come back to this side, okay? Try again, okay, here. Half step, swirl around, catch the wrist, block your midpoint, come back, swoop, and catch the upper arm of the opponent. So you end up, you take advantage of, this is a spiral coming this way, this is the spiral coming this way. Okay? Do it again. Okay. Single whip, half step. Spiral forward, spiral back, spiral forward again. Brush knee 2. And the left hand comes up as if you were going to do another brush knee. The only thing that's different is this hand comes down and forms the punch, and the left hand comes down, up, down to the side, deflect, parry, punch, strip, back, forward. Remember, this hand, when you're coming back to do this, it doesn't stay down here, it comes up.
It works a shuttle, okay? Okay, here we go. Good Tai Chi posture, commencing form. Just do it at your own pace. Set up for needle. Okay, when you get into single whip now, we have to pivot 2 times. So what does it mean to pivot 2 times? We're getting to single whip. We have to pivot our back to allow this hand to come here. We have to pivot this. Then we can shift our weight here. We can come out here and do a single whip. So the back foot pivots first. Pivot here. So if this foot is weighted, you're going to have a hard time pivoting. So what is the trick? Keep 60 or 70% towards the front. Pivot here. Pivot here. Shift weight. Out. Here. Half step. Swirl. Spiral. Another one, okay, can you watch? Is this one, okay? Pivot, pirouette. Do you see my hands? They're not in a ball position yet. When I kick out, it turns, heel on an L. My hips and waist didn't turn yet until here. Sit back, instep, hold ball, hold ball. Am I doing it right? Out with my heel, turn, not turn, but rotate my ball above my head, then turn my hips and waist to allow me to shuttle to my right. Half step to the back, across my hips and waist, extend the knee, don't bunch it up like this. Send the knee, needle to the bottom of the seat. 1 hand, 2 hands, join it with the foot, start in the middle, touch. Don't forget now, when this is extended in the front, you're going to pull back like a rubber band so that this guy in the back gets to pull back too. Do not just only emphasize this guy. It's together, flash arms like a fan. Okay? See if you can get at least 2 things. Get that deflect, parry, and punch, and see if you can get that pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook the back hand across the face, and don't forget to turn at the hips and waist. Put it up, then turn at the hips and waist to take advantage of your hands going for the ride, to shuttle both times. Don't forget also that when you pivot on the front, pirouette, pivot on the front, pirouette on the back. This is how the ball is, upside down ball. Then when you kick out with your heel, then you're in a good position to then shuttle this way, okay? Let's take it from the beginning. All right, commencing form, shift weight, open, rotate, deep breath. Reverse, relax, hands go for the ride, flex the knees, hold the ball nicely, not jerky, out on an L. Part the wild, torsus main, get a good stretch, make sure your hands are going for the ride with your stored energy. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, hold your ball, heel and hands, second parting of the wild, final. Half step, spin to the left, left hand comes up as if it were brushing, stretch out the knee, set. Drop the front foot, bisect. Swirl to the back on the left, higher hand, lift up the front foot, hands go for the ride. Sit back, lower, pivot out, swirl, lift up, heel, hands go for the ride. No rushing. Sit back, as if you're doing another brush knee, hands goes up, hands go down, heel out to deflect, shoulder comes in to parry, then forward to punch. Touch, open fingers, shoulder width, roll back, sit down, extend up, and then forward. Slowly, Pivot on the back, pivot on the front. By then your hand should be ready for a hook, T stance, across the face, L stance, push out, single whip. Half step forward, swirl the back hand, swirl the front hand, rock the front foot, play your lute. Center, higher, glance, weight on the back, lift up, repulse of the monkey. 1. Up. Don't forget at this point to meet both hands. Some of the hands are too far apart. Slide. Pivot on the front. Reposition your upside down ball on your toe as you pirouette. Kick out with your heel, reposition your hand. Out with your L stance. Left hand above your forehead or head. Then turn the hips and waist to shuttle on your left. Sit back, lower. Pivot in, ball. Out with an L. Rotate your ball, right hand above the head. Turn the hips and waist. Shuttle right. Half step to the back. Across your hips and waist. Set up your left hand. Bend with an extended front knee. One hand, two hand, join at touch, up. Extend like a rubber band, flash arms like a fan. Sit back, lower. Pivot, cup, 12 o'clock. Out, way out, 9 o'clock, cloud hands. Shift weight. Close flip. Extend, 9 o'clock. 3 o'clock, close. T-ball, bring it in. Out on an L, push your opponent away. Use your energy. Turn hips and waist, do not use your hands. Reposition, sit down. Look back. Touch. Turn, push. Sit down. Lower. Up. Out. Sit down, lower. Pivot. Round out. Ball. L. Push them away. Do not do anything with your hands, but turn your hips and waist. Grasp the bird's tail, look back, sit down. Contact, turn, push out, energy. Separate and roll back. Roll up, forward. Sit down, lower, pivot, open pivot, in pivot. What do? Palms out or up. Then come up. Don't have to rotate now because it's already in, push out. Palms down, shoulder width. How do the hands go for the ride? Drop your shoulders, drop your elbows, drop your wrists, flex your knees. Okay, so that sensation to hands go for the ride should be applied to all. So just as a recall or memory, when you grasp the bird's tail, push them away. Here again, the hand is not leading the motion. Turn hips and waist. Floats my hands out on the left. Now, how do I get back there? Energy is about 50-50 or 60-50. I sit down. Use my torso, use the gravity of the back foot, contact. Lunge forward in the center. Pull back, sit down. Lower yourself, unlower, push out. Recalling how to do pivot on the back, pivot on the front, hook, T, out, L stance. Half step, swirl, spiral rock, set it down. Repulsing. Here again, make sure your core is implemented. Make sure that all movements are initiated by the core. Make sure that this hand comes back this way, not here. You're not going to have enough power. here. Pivot, is that right? Pivot, hook, across, out, single whip. Then repeat this half step, swirl, rock. All right, commencing form, shift weight, open, rotate, deep breath. Reverse, relax, hands go for the right, flex the knees, hold the ball nicely, not jerky, out on an L. Part the wild, versus main, get a good stretch, make sure your hands are going for the right with your stored energy. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, hold your ball, heel and hands, second parting of the wild, final. Half step, spin to the left, left hand comes up as if it were brushing, stretch out the knee, set. Drop the front foot, bisect, swirl to the back on the left, higher hand, lift up the front foot, hands go for the right. Sit back, lower, pivot out, swirl, lift up, heel, hands go for the right. No rushing. Sit back, as if you're doing another brush knee, hands goes up, hands go down, heel out to deflect, shoulder comes in to parry, then forward to punch. Touch, open fingers, shoulder width, roll back, sit down, extend up, and then forward. Slowly, pivot on the back, pivot on the front. By then your hand should be ready for a hook, T stance, across the face, L stance, push out, single whip. Half step forward, swirl the back hand, swirl the front hand, rock the front foot, play your lute. Center, higher, glance, weight on the back, lift up, repulse of the monkey. 1. Up. Don't forget at this point to meet both hands. Some of the hands are too far apart. Slide. Pivot on the front. Reposition your upside down ball on your toe as you pirouette. Kick out with your heel, reposition your hand. Out with your L stand. Left hand above your forehead or head. Then turn the hips and waist to shuttle on your left. Sit back, lower. Pivot in, ball. Out with an L. Rotate your ball, right hand above the head, turn the hips and waist, shuttle right. Half step to the back, across your hips and waist, set up your left hand. Bend with an extended front knee. One hand, two hand, join at touch, up, extend like a rubber band, flash arms like a fan. Sit back, lower, pivot, cup, 12 o'clock. Out, way out, 9 o'clock. Cloud hands, shift weight, close flip, extend, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, close, T-ball, bring it in, out on an L, push your opponent away, use your energy, turn hips and waist, do not use your hands. Reposition, sit down, look back, touch, turn, push, sit down, lower, up, out, sit down, lower, pivot, round out, ball, L, push them away. Do not do anything with your hands, but turn your hips and waist. Grasp the bird's tail, look back, sit down. Contact, turn, push out, energy. Separate and roll back. Roll up, forward. Sit down, lower, pivot, open pivot, in pivot. What do? Palms out or up, then come up. Don't have to rotate now because it's already in, push out. Palms down, shoulder width. How do the hands go for the ride? Drop your shoulders, drop your elbows, drop your wrists, flex your knees. Okay? So that sensation to hands go for the ride should be applied to all. Good job. Okay, see you next time.
People are behind